watching the Bo Frye Show on Rider Nation Station, brought to you by these following fine sponsors: Buffalo Wild Wings, Miller's Funeral Home, Eagles Lodge 767, Rabel's Auto Service, Plus One Professionals, Oglaze Equipment Rental, Midway Trailers, American Legion Post 323, Albert Sporting Goods, Family Audiology, Speckman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Spees Chiropractic, Varsity Lanes, Minster Bank, VFW Post 9289, and Guarneri Pizzeria.
Well, hello once again, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Bo Frye Show on Rider Nation Station. I'm your host, Joe Hurlburt, alongside head coach Bo Frye. And first of all, Coach, before we get into the program, congratulations on the big win, homecoming last week at Grand Lake Health Systems Field.
Hey, thanks again.
Well, as we do each and every week, first of all, we're going to change things up a little bit. Let's take a look at the scores that was around the Western Buckeye League last Friday. Then we'll take a look at the standings. Elida defeated Bath by a score of 31-10. Salina defeated Kenton 27-7. Defiance over Shawnee 28-12. Wapak 20. Van Wert 19. That was a big surprise. We'll touch base on that as we preview Van Wert, this week's opponent for the Roughriders. And, of course, St. Mary's a big win, 41-12 over the OG Titans. So the way the Western Buckeye League shapes up right now, there's one undefeated team at the top of the Western Buckeye League. Overall, the Elida Bulldogs sit 4-0, and they're 3-0 in the Western Buckeye League, along with Wapakoneta. As far as league play is concerned, Van Wert, St. Mary's, Salina are 2-1. Shawnee, Kenton, Defiance are 1-2. OG and Bath are both winless in the Western Buckeye League. They're both winless on the season. And again, Coach, when you talk about Elida, you know, Elida surprises me at the top, but OG surprises me as not having won a ball game to date.
Well, I think they both have different type of schedules, but they're both equally earned where they're at. Elida's very athletic. I've seen a little bit of them on film, and they're playing good football. And OG will rebound. They've got great kids. Their kids play extremely hard. Even you'll see the other night they were playing extremely hard at the end. So they'll find a way to win. You know,
taking a look at, of course, postseason play, and I know it's early, but with 16 teams making it into the playoffs in each region, what do you think? What is your opinion? How many losses could a team get and still get in there?
It really all comes down to what region you're in, what division you're in, because we span all the way. The WBL spans all the way from Division 5 to Division 3. So it really depends on who you beat, if their schools are bigger than you. So it all really comes down to a lot. I don't know what the certain cutoff will be. Some teams could win 3 and get in. Some teams could win 7 and not get in. So right. It's really all comes down to who you beat and what region you're in.
Right, exactly. This week around the Western Buckeye League, it shapes up like this. OG is at Bath. Kenton is at Defiance. Shawnee is at Wapak. And Salina is at Elida. And, of course, the Roughriders will be on the road up at Egert Stadium to take on the Van Wert Cougars. And, of course, Rider Nation Station will be there to bring you all the action. Coach, let's talk a little bit about your 41-12 win over the OG Titans. Let's first of all take a look and get your opinion on the overall performance of your ball club on both sides of the ball.
Well, it is week 5. We're mid-season here now, so it's crazy, isn't it? So yeah. Things go fast, but we're finally starting to get into the things that we wanted to see. We're finally starting to tackle a little better at times. We're finally starting to hold on to the football. We're finally starting to finish blocks. So I think you're starting to see us and start to get to mid-season form, things that we still have to do better, but you're starting to see where we should be at as a football team.
Now, before I forget to make this mention, but and I think we have a couple of clips on that we're going to see here shortly, but it was good to see Braxton King back in the lineup.
Yeah, he's back. He had a back injury. The doctor thought he should never play football again, so he kind of took the summer off and didn't think he was ever going to be able to play again and really missed it and got a second opinion and went to his therapist, and the therapist said, yeah, he can play. And so he's back with us, and we're happy to have him back.
Absolutely, but let me just one thing. Put his number in the program.
Well, he got out of the roster a couple weeks ago.
We were scurrying, and I thought all of a sudden I remember from last week's show you said Braxton is coming back, and I thought, that was perfect. So
I did my job. I told you.
You did, and I just unfortunately remembered. But he did. He played pretty good. You could see, I mean, he's just a big, strong kid.
He's a big, strong kid. He's a bit out of shape right now, and he knows that. And he's trying every day to get in shape. And it's on speed burst right now to try to get him back to mid-season form.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a look at the clips from last Friday night. First of all, this is the kickoff and special teams, your kickoff return team.
It's good jumping around by our young guys on the sideline. That's first off. I like the juice. But we got to field it. That's the number one thing. We got to field it, and then we got to hit it. We're not doing this very well. Our kickoff return team is just not where we need to be by this point in the year.
Yeah.
So
fortunately, he was able to get it back past the 20, so he was able to get maybe a gain of 2 or 3 past the 20, even after he bobbled the football. Here's Keegan Sharp. Of course, this is becoming very familiar and very successful in your arsenal of offensive plays, that sweep to the right.
Yeah, it's a sweep to Keegan, and it's pretty textbook. Guards get out in front. We block an edge. That's a sweep. So.
And this is the one we talked about prior to going on to the air. This is 4th down and 1 on your 30-yard line. You've got to obviously have a lot of confidence in your offensive front and to get this first down.
Yeah, I didn't really have to think too hard. We were getting off the ball. So it's a pretty easy, simple decision.
Well, your offense on the night was able to come up with 364 total yards. He picked up 22 first downs, 87 yards passing, 277 on the ground. So all in all, a pretty consistent night throwing and running the football.
Yeah.
This is just good offensive line protection on Cody Wallace pass. Mm-hmm. And this one could have been caught.
Yeah, you got to catch those. We're at that point. Every week we're fighting for our lives here. So we got to catch those. We got to finish plays. We got to finish blocks. We have to finish catches. We have to finish tackles. So those are the things we have to do if we want to continue to stay in this race.
Cody gets flushed out of the pocket and just decides a good move to tuck it and go, and gets good yardage.
So Cody missed all of last year with the injury, like I said. So it's taken him some time to get it figured out. But he's a very good football player, and we have a lot of faith in Cody, and we're going to continue to use Cody. You'll see him more and more throughout the year. He actually had a banged-up hand earlier in the year. No one really knew about, but he's finally healthy again. So he's throwing the ball a lot better. This
is a pass from Cody Wallace to Braden Sullivan. You see Braden on the wing. Nice catch. Just to run out maybe 7-8 yards and sits down and square your shoulders to the quarterback.
Yeah, if we protect him, he can do that. So we got to continue to get better up front protecting him. And like I said, those are the little things we're always stressing every day.
Colton Mabry continues to get better. This one he almost busted for a big gain. And so Colton continues to get better. And, of course, he's gotten bigger this year and stronger. And keep in mind, folks, he's only a sophomore.
Yeah, he's a good kid, right? Great kid, honor rolls kid. He does things right, and we really love kids like that. It's 4th down here, hit a screen. We ran this 5 times in a row in practice because big old LeClaire wouldn't get out. So we said, run it again, run it again, run it again, run it again. And he finally came back. He got out. He got out. So sometimes it takes reps. Sometimes it takes fighting that little man on your shoulder to go do things right.
That was just perfectly set up, well executed by the offense. Good pass, good run after the catch. Here's your defense. Now, this is what caught my eye. It's not right now it's taking place. It's at the end of this play. There are 10 blue and gold jerseys around the ball carrier.
That's pursuit, and that's just what we're all about here. I mean, we know that we have to get all bodies to the football, and that's Coach Yale's philosophy. That's everyone's philosophy. Get to the football, tackle the guy, get him on the ground. As long as we continue to do that, we got a shot every week.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It's the same play again, isn't it? Just pursuit to the football.
Yep. They look like bees swarming to honey.
Yeah, that's how it should always look. As long as we get them on the ground, you'll see later that we come in and we all go in there and we miss them. So you got to make sure we get him on the ground. Make sure you're not tackling your own guys. Tackle the ball carrier.
Now this one here, I chose because if you look at the top of your screen, you got a wide open tight end.
Yeah, he's open. We know it. We're going to throw it to him at some point.
Right there.
Big old Rickard. He can catch it. He can catch it pretty well. He's a big old body. He can catch it well. He's playing tight end for a reason and not tackle. But we got to throw it to him at some point. Yeah. And he's there. And he's open all the time. And we just at some point we got to deliver it to him.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought, just get it to him. Get it to him. Now, this is almost the same play, but on the other side, and Sullivan catches the touchdown.
Yeah.
It was nice play, well executed.
Well executed.
There's your special teams, your kickoff team.
Yeah. Kickoff team, for the most part, is playing pretty well. Give a couple long returns. Sometimes we got to get a little better kick. We line drive a home run shot right down the middle. Sometimes it's hard to cover, but we're getting better on kickoff. I thought our special teams really took a jump this past week, and they're going to have to continue to.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's a good play there. I think Hunter Mabry, really good. Coach Yale getting excited down there. Let's like to see that as well.
Yeah, that's just good. That's just good pursuit to the football.
Mm-hmm.
Your defense gave up only 12 first downs in this ball game, 345 yards, probably do a little better in that area. Most of them was through the air, although OG had a very well-balanced attack, 193 yards through the air, 152 on the ground. But and the time of possession was pretty equal, but the only thing that wasn't really close was the score when it was all said and done.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Then we get a high-low right here from our tackle and our center. Sometimes that happens when you're doing that sort of thing.
That's just a nice catch
It's a nice catch by Mabry, though.
Yeah,
it gets
absolutely.
called back, but it was a heck of a catch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Next play, though, he hits it again, so I don't know if we got that on here, but here it is. Yep, it's a counter. Big Sailor gets out in front, puts a body on somebody. Mabry's got to unhook that wagon, though, doesn't he? Yeah. I said, man, Fred Flintstone legs. Yeah, yabba dabba do, baby.
Well, good game.
Yeah.
This is a nice run by Sullivan. This gets you down inside the 5-yard line. Obviously, he's going to set up another Roughrider score, and he's just about
he's
a half a football away from putting it in the end
He's
zone.
another great kid, smart kid. He can play every position for us. Heck, he plays about 4 different positions on defense. Plays every position in the backfield.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that you can move around because he's so smart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that last week when he had to jump from halfback to fullback in the second half.
He plays them all, and he's pretty good at them all. So.
Yeah. This is just Logan Rush is kicking the football off, I believe, this time instead of Jay Schaefer.
Yeah, Rushy can kick, man. He's consistent. He puts it wherever you want it. He can place it basically anywhere. So that's a nice weapon to have on the kickoff team.
And he's a former soccer player?
Former soccer player, yeah. I said last year he was a little round guy. He wasn't very big and he went to the weight room all season, man. The kid got slim and got a girlfriend and everything here. You know what I mean? So it's crazy what it'll do to you.
Absolutely.
It's like magic, you know?
This is just good pursuit at the point of attack by your defense once again.
Yeah, on Friday, at times we were playing like an all-league defense, man, like at the top of the league. So we got to continue to do that. With just a couple big plays here and there, we got to limit. We got to get guys on the ground. I like our excitement. You know what I mean? I think our kids, when we're excited, we're a lot better football team. So we got to continue to keep that going.
Yeah. Now last week against Wapak, when Wapak jumped out to the league, you didn't see that.
It was dead. It was crickets.
No, second half was a whole different story.
Yeah. So this is getting closer. We're getting better at it. Like I said, I'm still not happy with our kickoff return team. We got to get better.
Speaking of special teams, this is just your some punt coverage.
Yeah, it's just we're getting it away and we're protecting it decent. I didn't think we covered real great last week, so we stressed that. And
this might be one they put on the ground.
Yeah, actually, yes. We need to make sure we're getting down there quicker. And there was only one thing at halftime I was upset about is that we didn't dig this ball, that pile right there. It goes on the ground. That's ours. We got to get that.
OG has the ball inside the 5-yard line and just good defense again.
Great fill. Great by everybody. Got to get him on the ground on initial contact, but other than that, it was a great fill.
Hunter Mabry right there in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, and I said this about 2 games ago, I said Steinberg runs about 5 miles a game.
Yeah.
And then I said, sooner or later, you got to throw it to him. And right there was it. Nice catch and nice run after.
I've been joking with Steinberg for a while. He's been our best JV football player for like the last 2 years. I said, when are you going to quit being the best JV football player and get to this varsity squad and actually become one of our better football players on Friday nights?
There you go.
He really took it on and he challenged him, and he's playing good football right now. So.
here's just another good pursuit by your defense.
Yeah. Like I said, when they're playing fast, great things happen, and they can. I mean, they're very capable. We got to bring these picks in, though. You know, a lot of little things that we're still working on. So those things are where we're at, and I love them. Great group of kids, and they play extremely hard, and they're going to continue to, and we're gonna make sure that we get them on the ground and great things happen. Great run here by I think it was Hinkle. Yes.
Aiden Hinkle gets a 6-yard touchdown, but you got to give credit to the guys up front. They pushing people out of the way.
When there's a hole and we're driving people, great things happen. This was crazy, wasn't it?
This was unique. Yeah. This was the start of the second half, I believe.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I think, from my perspective, it looked like the ball was actually heading out of bounds. So I think the OG kickoff returner started running toward the sideline thinking it was going to go out of bounds, and all of a sudden the ball takes a sharp turn to the south, and just good heads-up play right there. That's probably the longest onside kick I've ever seen.
Yeah, probably a new record, right? It was a cool kick. It works like that. He's crazy. He does that every day in practice. He puts it wherever you tell him to put it at.
Really?
You know what I mean? So he's got that unique kick to him.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know a lot about kicking, though. So I told him the other day, he asked a question. I said, brother, I've never kicked a day in my life, so you figure that one out. So
nice pass there from Cody Wallace to
he's
Braden
delivering.
Sullivan.
He's delivering, and that's great, and we're giving him at least
and
enough time.
And he's got people out there. He had the corner if he wanted to take it.
Yeah. He's got to continue to do that if we're going to continue to win. Kickoff coverage again. We're getting downfield fast. It's great. You know, as long as we're getting there to the ball and get him on the ground. This was a guy bobbled it back here. He's having trouble. Not sure if it's short or long or whatever. And as long as we'll kick it and get down there to it. This is getting later in the game, right?
Yep.
So, yeah.
I think I think it's just a matter of right now. It's just the big bodies of the Roughriders. I think OG was getting kind of
they're pretty worn out. But I'll give their kids credit. They played hard all the way till the end, and that's a testament to them and their program, and they always do.
Yeah.
You go back and if you watch all our PATs we kicked, their kid laid out every single time on PAT. He dove for every single one of them. Never got any of them, but he dove every single time. So.
Good job by the defense here, batting this ball up in the air. From Mormon, batted it up in the air.
Yeah, we're gonna have to continue to do that.
Schaefer.
Schaefer's got long arms. You saw it a lot at outside linebacker last year. Some of these guys, we changed positions, so it takes time. It takes time for them to get comfortable with what they're doing, and you're starting to see some of it.
Here's nice blocking up front, a quick pitch, and
good run,
Hinkle
good
puts
surge.
it in the end zone. Now the helmet falls off, and of course, I'm sure Zach and Mark will talk about that on rules of the game because that was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
We got the kick off. I told Schaefer to kick it through the uprights, and he kicked it all the way, almost kicked it out of bounds, man. So never try that again, man.
Yeah. Here again, and we saw it the entire ball game. Good pursuit by the defense.
Yeah. Just playing together, you know what I mean? That's a big thing. And everyone's got a job to do, and everyone has to do it on defense. So, like I said, they're getting better. They're getting better, and Coach Yale's he's working every week, man. That guy puts a lot of time into this. So, they're really getting better.
Now, here's Carter Steinberg deciding instead of throwing it, we used him at a running back.
You know, Steinberg plays quarterback. Steinberg plays halfback. He's our backup quarterback, Steinberg. Yeah.
Is he?
Yep. He plays DB. He's a smart kid, too. Like I said, we got quite a few kids that are just super smart kids. They can play a lot of places.
This is third down and about one, and just good pursuit again. Sacked OG for a loss. Yeah. Forced him into a fourth down situation.
Yeah, this was good. We got some of those some young kids in the game. Not all young kids. Yeah. Some of those seniors that don't get to play that block and tag, play on scout team every week. The Carson Giesegis, the Ingalls, all those guys that don't get to play. Deshaun Burnins that don't play a lot on Friday night, but they're out here grinding every day.
Right.
And we got them in the game at the end, which was nice for those guys.
I think we have a couple of plays of those folks.
Yeah, right here they all are.
That's a nice little run.
Yeah, good run. I think that's Noah Dixon. He's a nice little DB running back that you'll hear about here in the future. Got to get him in the weight room, though. He's a skinny little guy. So. It's a good run here. That's this Osborne kid. He's going to be a pretty good running back, too, when he gets up here as well. great kid, always looking for ways to get on the field. So he's
Absolutely.
a good kid.
Well, the Roughriders win it 41-12, and those were some of the highlights from last Friday night's homecoming win over the OG Titans. Coach Frye and I will take a break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at this week's opponent. It'll be the Van Wert Cougars when we come back right after this.
You're watching the Bo Frye Show on Rider Nation Station, brought to you by these following fine sponsors: Buffalo Wild Wings, Miller's Funeral Home, Eagles Lodge 767, Rabel's Auto Service, Plus One Professionals, Oglaze Equipment Rental, Midway Trailers, American Legion Post 323, Albert Sporting Goods, Family Audiology, Speckman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Spees Chiropractic, Varsity Lanes, Minster Bank, VFW Post 9289, and Guarneri Pizzeria.
Welcome back once again to the Bo Frye Show. I'm Joe Hurlburt alongside Bo Frye, and of course I would like to say, if you get an opportunity, to thank all of our sponsors for supporting Rider Nation Station and what we do, not only with football coverage, but also with soccer. We've done bowling in the past. That's always a blast to do. Mm-hmm. We've done swimming. Track, I believe we've done. We've done all kinds of things, but we couldn't do it. And it's a neat thing to do that we're able to do stuff like that, but we couldn't do it without the sponsors. So if you get an opportunity, stop by the sponsors and thank them for their support of Rider Nation Station. Coach, the Rough Riders on the road, and they're going to take on the Van Wert Cougars, who lost to the Wapakoneta Redskins, and it was kind of a crazy ending in that ball game. 12 seconds left to go in the ball game. Van Wert had the ball at Walpock's 43. They had a punt blocked, and Walpock ran it back for a touchdown for the score, which first of all and foremost just shows you the importance of special teams.
Huge.
It's very big. Mm-hmm. So the Van Wert Cougars, as I mentioned, they lost to Walpock 20-19. Of course, they're coming off the loss. They're probably remembering last year's loss here at Grand Lake Health Systems Field when they were the number one team in the state at the time. Mm-hmm. So they've got some things to fuel the fire a little bit, but they've got a good offense. They got a high-powered offense. They're number one in the Western Buckeye League in passing offense, total offense, and scoring offense. But that should probably just fuel the fire for your defense.
Yeah, I think that we were kind of both in the same situation. I think they do it a different way than we do it. But we score a lot of points as well. But at the same time, we also dropped one to Walpock that we could have probably won as well. And he questioned the field goal attempt by us. You know what I mean? You think on that one, I'm sure he questions the punt. But you know what? It's a game of football. You make decisions and you go with your gut and you stick with them. So, but yeah, the importance of special teams are huge. I mean, obviously, if we played better special teams, we'd be undefeated. If they played better special teams, they'd be undefeated. Exactly. So, I think it's a very it's going to be a great high school football game. Right. We're doing our end to make sure it's that way. Coach Recker's done a great job of making a consistent winner there, and we're going there to compete.
Right, and of course, we'll be there to bring you all the action from the Oglaze Rental mobile skybox, which I am really looking forward to. But Coach, offensively and defensively, you're working this week, obviously. This is a big ball game. Yeah. There's no question about it. But you're just working on things to make the Rough Riders. You're taking care of what the Rough Riders do.
Oh, 100%. We work on us first. I think we do a great job here at St. Mary's as coaches finding what our weaknesses are before we try to focus on the opponent. So we're focusing, number one, we're working on getting that little guy named Johnny Besoft off our shoulder at times. But we come to work. Our kids will come to work. They're always here, and they've been that way all the way through. So we got to continue to come to work and get better at the blocking, the tackling, the ball security, the special teams. So that's number one. But number two, we got to stop them. So.
And we've seen in a game against the OG Titans that those things are starting to come together.
They are.
Cut down on the turnovers. Mm-hmm. Special teams did a good job. Mm-hmm. And there's some things obviously that you can, you're never perfect, so there gives you things to work on. And so hopefully this was what we're working on this week, and we'll take them up to Eager Stadium and do battle
For
with
sure.
the Cougars.
I told you last week, or a couple weeks ago, that God's handed us a pretty good hand of cards. It's if we show up to work and get better every day, then the hand can be even better.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Bo Frye Show for this week. I'm Joe Hurlburt, and again, we want to remind you to tune in to our new program. It's called Third and Long. Have you had an opportunity to look at it?
Yeah, I have. Denny Long, he's one of my guys, man. I've learned all my football from Denny, so it's neat to hear those old stories, and those guys do a great job. So.
It's going to be interesting this week when we talk about it because Roger Duncan played at Van Wert.
Yeah, did he? Yeah, I heard
So
that.
it's going to be interesting to see. And, of course, St. Mary's and Van Wert, when you look at the Western Buckeye League titles, St. Mary's is there, number one. Van Wert's right behind them. And so it's going to be interesting to see. My question to Coach Duncan, were you a part of any of those 19 championships? So it'll be interesting to see. So join that program. Of course, Rules of the Game with Zach Farrell and Mark Sisko. And, of course, a lot of things to talk about from last Friday's game. But, of course, Rider Nation Station will be there this Friday night with our kickoff around 7 o'clock. We'll be on the air probably about 6:50 or so, so we hope you join us.
You're watching the Bo Frye Show on Rider Nation Station, brought to you by these following fine sponsors: Buffalo Wild Wings, Miller's Funeral Home, Eagles Lodge 767, Rabel's Auto Service, Plus One Professionals, Ogle's Equipment Rental, Midway Trailers, American Legion Post 323, Albert Sporting Goods, Family Audiology, Speckman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Spees Chiropractic, Varsity Lanes, Minster Bank, VFW Post 9289, and Guarneri Pizzeria. Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.